I don't know about a National Integrity Commission. I suspect with hundreds and hundreds of pages, both in the legislation and the memorandum, there aren't many in Parliament who've read it. But do we need an Integrity Commission to deal with this Senator Lidia Thorpe? This is the woman who had conducted a personal relationship with a former president of an outlawed motorcycle gang. She didn't disclose the relationship with the Greens or the wider Parliament, despite being on the Parliamentary Joint Committee for Law Enforcement, which at the time was examining police strategies around bikie gangs and other organised crime networks. But it's far worse than that. Thorpe last year used her position on another committee examining legal and constitutional matters to interrogate the Secretary of the Home Affairs Department, Mike Pizzullo, and advocate the case of one Jackie Dean Hobson, an alleged Rebels member who faced deportation to New Zealand. It's not clear if Senator Thorpe, fancy this woman being in the Parliament calling us Senator Thorpe. It's not clear if she knew Hobson was linked to the Rebels, but she's declined to answer any questions on that matter. But her relationship with this bloke Martin makes it clear that this was more than a conflict of interest. This business is about making mistakes and she hasn't exercised good judgment. This is a woman who celebrated the arson of Old Parliament House, refused to acknowledge Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, has thrown several tantrums in the Senate, says we have no entitlement to this country because Aboriginal Australia didn't surrender sovereignty, when in fact you can't have any sovereignty if you've got no government. But now, as if none of that is enough, how can the Greens ever raise questions of integrity and accountability? Resigning as Deputy Leader in the Senate is meaningless. No one knew she was Deputy Leader anyway. And if the only punishment the Parliament can offer is to consider referring Thorpe to the government's new Anti-Corruption Commission when it is established, then you can only assume government and the Parliament are impotent. And that's not all. There are concerns also about Thorpe's conduct, including a complaint of aggressive bullying and intimidation of the so-called First Peoples Assembly of Victoria co-chair Geraldine Atkinson during a meeting at Parliament House last year. Is there no code of conduct for federal politicians? Because if there was such a code, Lidia Thorpe should be turfed out of the Parliament, never to be heard from again. Well, of course, as always, it's left to Pauline Hanson to speak strongly against Lidia Thorpe, and she joins me. Pauline, thank you for your time. You're going to move to have her censured in the Senate, aren't you?
Well, I am. Two things that I'm putting up, Alan, to actually have her attend the Parliament like Sam Dastyari did and to answer the allegations put against him. She'll have 15 minutes to answer that. If not, there's also a censure motion I'm moving to put up. Alan, you said it all. I couldn't have said it better, that she is a woman who holds Parliament just in disdain. She has no time for our democracy, our Parliament, the people, and I believe she has to be held accountable. She's a deplorable woman that I don't believe should be on the floor of Parliament, and I'm going to try and make her accountable to the people.